All right, so this is kind of chapter 8, the finding and evaluating sources. However, this is a lecture I've adapted for the online class. I still highly recommend that you read the chapter, and that's for everything. There's information in the PowerPoints that isn't in the book, and there's information in the book that is not in these PowerPoints. These PowerPoints are supplemental to the reading. So here I've gotten the library homepage. Uh, this is after you go to McComb's homepage. If you slide down past that big picture, there's a list of links. At the bottom of that list of links is the library. You click on that, it'll bring you to this page. Now, since this is an online class, what you're going to want to look at is on the left there in that gray box. You will find you can't read it very well on here because of having to do a screenshot and then transferring it to the PowerPoint. But the second one down is Find eSources. So you want to click on that Find eSources, and then you will find this. This will be the next page. And now in the blue on the right, these are all links to the different subjects. The one you're probably most interested in is the one at the very top that says Academic All Subjects. And that is the one that I'm going to look at next. You can see there are, though, again, it's hard to read because of it being a screenshot. It's the only way I could figure out how to do this. There's things such as automotive technology, business, community reference, mathematics, psychology. So there are specific databases if you're writing within a certain field, and it may be listed there, so you may want to look at that as well. But what I looked at was the academic uh, all subjects because that's probably going to be the most useful to you for this class. When you get to that, here's the search page. And so on the top, you would put whatever you're looking for. On the left-hand side, find all of my search terms is one of the things you can use. Below that, in the second box on the left, this is most important where it says full text. Make sure you choose that whenever you do a search because otherwise there's things called abstracts. And the databases have thousands of these abstracts, and all it is a short paragraph that tells you what the journal entry or the essay is about. But then if we don't subscribe to that particular journal, the school's databases don't. Uh, you're not able to get that information, and so you're wasting a lot of time looking at these abstracts that we don't actually have the full article for. So that's why you want to always say pick full text. You can also below that do scholarly peer-reviewed journals. That keeps you from having to worry about the next part of this lecture is how you actually evaluate the sources. Now this information that you're going to see now. All right, now when you're doing your research, uh, either, and especially when you as you get further up in your education, and you have to start writing longer and longer papers, you probably want to take some type of notes on the sources you're finding. Now, I say note cards because I'm old school. I'm an old man, and I like writing things on 3x5 cards. You may just keep it on your phone in some text app that you have, or on your computer in your Word, whatever. But you want the main information. You want to know what the purpose of the text is and why it's important to your paper. You want to look at the strengths and weaknesses of uh, the paper. And you also want to look if there's any sources you've already found that you can synthesize with it. So these are the type of things you need to be looking at. Now, responding to sources, you've got to make notes in the margin sources if you've got them. I mean, I always like printing my stuff out because I like to be able to write on it. Uh, and there's plenty of books at the University of Hawaii because I had to turn them in before I had a chance to erase them that had plenty of penciled in notes from me because I would write notes in the books and I swore I was going to erase it afterwards and I never did. Uh, but do you agree with something? Do you disagree? Do you find something questionable? These type of questions you have to be asking. And then you've got to look at, is it accurate? Does this seem to be accurate information? How timely is it? Is it relevant? I mean, if you're writing on some text subject, some internet subject, something that was relevant 3 years ago may no longer be relevant. I mean, there was no iPhone in 2004. By 2007, anything that didn't reference the iPhone when you talked about the internet was no longer relevant. Uh, how thoroughly do you think the author has gone into the subject? How reliable do you think the information and the author are? And does the reasoning seem to make sense? Is this something that seems like there was a guy who had a website with plenty of followers on it who said we didn't have to worry about running out of oil because the earth would create more oil. Well, yeah, it will. When the next set of dinosaurs die and 1 million years goes by, then there'll be more oil. It's called fossil fuel for a reason. That's not reasonable to say the earth is going to create more. We might. All right, now with electronic research be even more critical than anything else, how fair, balanced, and reasonable is the perspective? Who is the publisher, the author, the about us? So if you find something on the internet and there's no author, you probably don't want to use that source. But if there is no author, there should be an about us tab on the website that tells you who is responsible for the website, who the people of the board are, and then you can get information about those people. If there's no author and there's no about us, get out of there. That's not a good website to use because they've got a hidden agenda and they're trying to keep it from you. We want to look at when it was published and if there any critique by other sources. So a lot of times I do that is I will find a website I like and then I will do a quick Google search to see if there's other people that have anything to say about this. I've found that things I thought were pretty good turned out not to be pretty good because there are plenty of people who've done other research on the site I was looking at saying, no, this is what the site's doing. Right. All right. You have different types of electronic research. You have internet research engines. All right. Most people using Google, but you've got Yahoo. You've got, I don't even know what else is out there now. I guess Bing, things like that. Google, you've got advanced search. What's really good about Google is you've got the Google Scholar, which will only search scholarly books and journals. That's a good one. And there's a thing called Dogpile, which I can't believe they're still in business, but they go and bring you back the top 5 results from 25 different search engines. So by going to Dogpile, you can get all these different results from different search engines, which might give you a better variety of sources. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is a thing called Boolean logic. So this is when you're actually doing the searching. So if you put and into a term, then all those terms must be present on the web page that comes back. So if I say Paris Hilton and Britney Spears, both Paris Hilton and Britney Spears must be mentioned on that web page in order for it to come back in your results. So if you say or, then it could be either Paris Hilton or Britney Spears, right? Plus what you had before. If it's got Paris Hilton and Britney Spears on it, it'll come back. So you get a lot more results with or than you will with and. If you say not, it excludes the term. So if I want to look for Paris Hilton, the celebrity, but I don't want the Hilton Hotel in Paris website to show up, I say Paris Hilton, not hotel, and therefore anything that's got hotel next to it won't show up. Okay. All right. So that's kind of chapter 8, but like I said, I would read chapter 8 as well. And I'll cover this a little bit more in the MLA lecture next week. But that's it for this one. Discover more. It's not going to create more.